Tecmo Koei, what are you up to? Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Bunny 3000, and yes, we are taking a look at Attack on Titan, one of the creepiest games I have ever played on my PlayStation 4. This is a very strange anime show if you don't already know it, and it is definitely something that I think fans of the show slash movie, live action movie that has come out, as well as one that is about to come out, have anticipated for a while. Now when it dropped, I heard pretty good things from like the community, people who were fans of the show. So being that I wasn't a fan of the show, knew nothing about the show aside from its creepiness, I decided to give it a try. So we're gonna take a look. Now, as we take a look at the intro to this very creepy game, let's take a step back and actually chronicle some of the other games that have come between Attack on Titan and some of the other Dynasty Warriors-y hack and slash games. If you remember correctly, I did a review on their Blade, what was it called? Blade Storm Nightmare or Blade Storm 100-Year War or whatever it was called. And one of the biggest things I realized about that game, it was that Omega Force and Tecmo Koei were looking to kind of shake up the formula of the games that they were trying to put out. Of course, they're going to always do Dynasty Warriors and Wars Orochi and Samurai Warriors, where it's basically hack and slash fest. And you've got bunches and bunches of characters that you're going to upgrade and so on, but they seem like they were trying to really incorporate a bit more RPG elements as well as some strategy elements to the game. Now, I'm not trying to say that any of that kind of stuff is featured in Attack on Titan, but it was clear they were definitely trying to go someplace with it. Where you really saw a lot of the growth is when you started hearing a lot about them getting licenses for other anime games like One Piece. What was the other one? I guess so, just like the action that you're starting to see here in the game, let's jump right into it. Attack on Titan is gorgeous. It is very fast. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very creepy. I mean, look at these things. They're ridiculously creepy. And that's one of the things that kind of drives the action in this game. Now, honestly, I have no idea why the only reason or only way that you can take out these titans is to cut the nape on the back of their neck, and then of course they turn into mist. Also, no idea why each one of them has to be naked. Also, have no idea why none of them have, male or female genitalia or any of that stuff. I mean, it's creepy enough that these things pick people up and eat them, whether they bite them in half, swallow them whole, whatever. Strange, but I'll tell you what, the whole Joker effect and everything that they got on these things is creepy enough to make me want to take them all down. With that said, one of the things that I think you notice right off the bat on this game, as I said before, is just this thing is so close to looking like an actual anime show. You could actually watch this and have some sense of enjoyment, and I guess you could say visual beauty to the way the action actually plays out in this game. Now, when you start really getting down to it, basically what you're doing is you're taking each one of these different characters in the game, just like in all the other Tecmo Koei games, and you're building them up, building up their strength, building up their equipment, and of course each one of these characters has different abilities. Some of these characters take the other attackers or defenders, I guess you can say, that are listed just above their picture, and they either call out orders to them, or they have them do special attacks, or your one character does a special attack, or attacks, one of those things. And it gets pulled off really, really well. But once you get to a certain point in the game, just like all other Tecmo Koei games, you kind of run into this slow, grindy phase where you're building up equipment, taking out titans, earning money, trying to upgrade things, and just progressing through the storyline. They definitely are pushing for replayability, or not even replayability, but just longevity of when you're playing this game. But somehow, the way that you traverse throughout these big maps and highlight all the different parts of each one of these titans and everything, and then quickly connect and target a whole other titan is very fluid. It's just amazing how you can quickly go from one titan's leg to another titan's neck to another titan's arm, and do it with such flair, and the camera actually doing a relatively good job of capturing all of it, especially once you actually get those titan ending nape slices, as it just kind of goes into a kind of a cinematic where you basically, face your character and he goes in for the kill. He or she goes in for the kill and just takes it down in like a mass of blood. Now, yes, this game could definitely be a lot more gory. If you really wanted to, you could probably argue that they could have thrown a lot more gore into this game to really satisfy some of the fans of the show, I would think. But I think the amount of gore that they kind of have in here is probably plenty. I mean, I had my 4-year-old daughter, and she was kind of, worried, mainly because these things look so creepy, but also she was just worried because they were all naked. She had no idea why they were naked, and I was just slicing and dicing each one of them up. Thankfully, these things don't talk or do much more than the groaning that they kind of do. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. But, ladies and gentlemen, what you will see in this game is there is a bit of strategy in this action. Now, I'm not going to say there's a lot, but there is a bit of strategy. As you go along, these titans get a little bit more difficult. They get a lot more compact, and when you start having to take on bunches of these titans at once, you do have to kind of pick and choose how and when you slice and dice them up, because just as you start attacking one, another might come around the corner, or a little bit further away on the map, somebody else might be in trouble, so on and so forth. So it kind of keeps you on your toes. Of course, like I said before, the only other argument I'd really put in there is that at a certain point, the missions start to kind of blur together. When, every time you jump into a match, all you really want to do is just slice off every appendage of each and every titan that you encounter, just because they look creepy. And then, fly off in Spider-Man style and go in and take the next one. But after a while, it gets a little bit old. As much as I love zipping back and forth through all the buildings and through the trees and everything, I really, really just wanted something else to kind of pull me into the action, or even pull me into the strategy or the RPG aspect of the game. You have to redo your blades from time to time. You have to upgrade your pack so that you can put more air into your pack so that you're able to go faster or whatever, which is fine. In the midst of a mission, that does boost the difficulty a bit. But when I played the game online and saw what they did with the difficulty, it essentially just made each of the appendages of all the different titans a bit harder to manage, a bit harder to cut and take down. It takes a lot more durability for your blade and a lot more durability for your character to have to go back and forth on one appendage and dodge his arm trying to cut you or trying to grab you and all this other kind of stuff. So yeah, there was a little bit of difficulty there, but it really didn't seem as if the difficulty that was raised in those times was because of the titans having better AI or anything of that matter. So it kind of makes you wonder, once you get to a certain point in the game, what is really driving you aside from maybe wanting to see the so-called original story for the game. Being that I've never seen the show and I've never, I mean, the storyline itself, is anime-ish. I don't want to say it's hard to follow. It's just kind of weird. There wasn't really a whole lot of driver for me to go and push forth and really try to go through the entire storyline of this game. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of those games where, because of the great mechanics of the combat, great mechanics of the movement in the game, you feel like you really want to just keep it in your library, because from time to time you just want to run around, slice and dice, and run off to the next mission. And because of the different variety of characters in there is a little bit of variety in how they do it, special attacks that some of them have in taking out titans. So it's a good stress relief from time to time. But honestly, unless you're a really die-hard dedicated fan, I don't see a whole lot of people running and jumping on this game in order to own it. It would really be interesting to see if this is one of those games that would be great as a $20 or $30 game for the masses, whereas the true Attack on Titan fans probably either already have it or they're begging their mom and dad to get it for them. Not to say that this game is a kiddie game. I mean, think about it. You're slicing and dicing these titans' appendages off, and you're also, they're titans. Jeez, they're just creepy. You just want to slice and dice and tear them all apart. So my other thing is that when you get into each one of these missions, a part of me kind of felt like, just like you saw in the intro, you should see more of these titans actually grabbing people, not just the defenders that are working with you to take each of these titans down, but if there were actually people scampering and running away when you were in town or out in the wilderness or in the woods, that would really up the "oh my gosh, I've got to do this quickly" factor, because they don't quite have enough of that. Because even though these titans are just creepy looking, I mean, the real gasp factor would be regularly seeing each one of these titans going and charging and lunging after actual people and you trying to save them. Of course, that would make it a bit more easy to take these things down, because it takes them quite some time before they can get something to their mouth and in their mouth, and it would make them slower targets. The more people you got out there, the more times they actually have something in their hand and they just stand there rather than actually going after you. So of course, I've got my little gripes here and there, but it's definitely a good game and is definitely a step in a different direction from a lot of the Dynasty Warrior-esque games that they have out there. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Bunny 3000. This is definitely a good recommendation for me. I'd put it in the $20 to $30 mark, but Attack on Titan is definitely an impressive game. It's tons of fun, great combat, excellent animation and graphics. Looks just like the anime in my opinion, and I really think it's a great game. But that is definitely something that you have to find out for yourself. Get the game, try it out, rent it, go to Redbox or go to Gamefly, rent it, and the second you get the hang of the movement and the combat, I really think you're going to have a very, very interesting love for playing and even just watching this game. You get somebody that is really good at doing this and that's at a pretty good high level, this is a pretty watchable game. But hey, you're watching me right now, so there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, your boy Bunny 3000, Geekswagg in the building, and I am OUT.